everybody, this is Solveig with our last entry from this year's pea trials. Spring is in full swing. Trees are leafing out. We had lots of rain last week and pretty cool temperatures, but this week will be consistently in the 60s and 70s for highs. As you can see, it's beautiful and sunny. So it's getting toward time to terminate cover crops. So termination time differs depending on what you want to plant next and how much time you need for your cover crop to break down. But in general, the goal is to get the cover crop as big as you can while still leaving enough time to get your cash crop or your main crop in. Nitrogen fixation generally increases with biomass, so the bigger you can get the crop, the better. Our first rating is biomass. So how much biomass, how much plant material did each variety accumulate? And going along with that, how well would that variety compete with weeds if it were present in a full stand? So our scale goes from 1 to 5. 1 is small plants that would really not compete with weeds at all, up to 5, which is abundant biomass, excellent weed competition. And then toward the middle is moderate biomass, some weed competition, but you're still seeing some light infiltration, things like that. This is an entry that I'm going to give a 5. So this is abundant biomass. It's also a really nice stand, but these plants are nice and big and robust, and there's not much light getting through to the ground. I don't see, really significant weed pressure at all. So for me, this is a 5. This one, in contrast, I'm giving a 3. So the plants are smaller, they're more sparse. This is a semi-leafless type, so there, is inherently going to be less biomass because in place of those terminal leaves, we have tendrils. It's important to remember that this way of rating biomass is subjective. So the best way to rate biomass is to cut the plant material, dry it in an oven, and then weigh it. That's what we do for our regular trials, but that's not a reasonable thing to ask of you all on your gardens and farms. Sometimes imaging technology can help. We're working on that, and maybe we can incorporate it in some future trials. But we're just going to do our best to judge relative size of plants and your idea of how well a plant that size would compete with weeds in your space. It's important to note that we're not asking you to rate stand here. So there's a little bit of a sparse patch here, and that's a stand issue, not a biomass issue. So the plants that are here are really nice and big and abundant. So that's the rating we're giving, not the fullness of the whole stand. And finally, one benefit of having this planting of triticale alongside the pea is that you can kind of measure how far up the triticale each pea entry is growing. So that's one way you can judge biomass of the varieties relative to one another. And last of all, we're going to ask you to give an overall rating, just answering the question, would you grow this again? 1 is absolutely not. 5 is yes, and I would tell all my friends. And 3 is sure, but it wouldn't be something I seek out. It wouldn't be my favorite. So definitely consider how the plot looks now. So that one that I rated 5 for biomass, that's going to be a 5 for I'd grow it again, because I know that in my conditions, it does really nicely, even in a hard winter. So that's going to be a 5 for me. Definitely grow it again. You can also consider how you know the variety performed throughout the season. So this one I know did really nicely in the fall. It was very abundant in biomass, had a little more winter damage that set it back a bit. So for me, I'm going to give this a 4 because I think in a milder year, it would have probably taken less winter damage and been super abundant in the spring. But it wouldn't be my go-to because it was a little more damaged in the winter. So last, I want to thank you for your time and effort and patience in participating in these cover crop winter pea trials. This year we trialed 4 commercially available varieties. Maybe some of them worked great for you. Maybe some of them all died for you. This next year we'll be trialing a couple of those lines along with 2 or 3 of lines from the Cover Crop Breeding Network. So if you're interested in participating again, whether winter treated your peas nicely or not this year, we would love to have you. Also love to hear your feedback on this year's trials, what we might do differently to make the trials more convenient and accessible for you to participate in. Really appreciate your participation. Look forward to working with you in the future if it fits into your farm or garden. Thanks much.
This is a production of Cornell University.